Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Why Not Wednesday. This is Lisa Geis, your self-relationship expert, your Be Great Now coach, your inspirational speaker, and the author of You're Just a Quote Away from Your Greatness, coming to you on Why Not Wednesday. And I just want to share something with you. Last week on Why Not Wednesday, I did not do a video. Something had occurred, and I want to be very transparent and open about it. I put out a written post, and it was basically me saying I never realized that in my quest for greatness and opening myself up for greatness, that I would leave myself vulnerable to those who did not have my best interest at heart, and just leave myself vulnerable to different situations and things like that. And so I just kind of want to talk about that because, in hindsight, I will say this, and I'll be the first to admit that it was probably a good thing that I did not know that, because that would have allowed some past fears about just being completely open and not having my guard up and not having that shield of protection that I honored so much before, available to me, that probably would have deterred me from actually pursuing this. And I'm completely okay with saying that, because in everything that we do, there's personal growth, there's spiritual growth, educational growth, we're all a work in progress. So I realize now that, God protected me from that, because he knew I would have ran the other direction. I would have ran the other direction. But what it allowed me to see is, in experiencing what I experienced last week, even though it was something hurtful, it was something that I was actually able to look at and analyze and use. I'm a strong proponent, and I speak to you guys all the time about leveraging your obstacles, and that, in life, we cannot dictate. Hi, Tessa. We cannot dictate what will or what won't happen in life, but one thing that we can control is how we respond to it. And so, I really want to thank all of those who posted positive things and giving me encouragement and support, and those who reached out to me, whether it be via a private message or called me on the phone, text message. I really truly appreciate you guys, and I do know that I am not walking this journey by myself, and that just brings joy to my heart to know that. And I just want to share with you, because again, we can't control the obstacles that come, but we can absolutely control how we respond. So what I realized I needed to do is I needed to get anchored. And so I want to share this with you, because I want you to already be anchored as you're walking through your greatness journey. So this is what I had to step back and do. One of the things was I had to purge my emotions. That experience required me to actually purge my emotions. So often we get stuck into how we feel about things, and, our feelings are hurt. We don't know if we're going to make it. We don't know how we're going to go on, all those things we tell ourselves because we're stuck in our emotions. So the one thing that I had to do is I had to purge those emotions, all the things that came up. I had to purge those emotions, and I had to do it immediately, because I knew that those emotions would take over and get the best of me. So that's the one thing that's number one, purge the emotion. Take the emotion completely out of it. I know it's going to be difficult, but you will be able to analyze the situation a lot better if you can remove your emotions from the situation. And this will help anchor you for your greatness journey, okay? Number two, reflect honestly on the situation. See, when emotions are involved, you're not honest. They don't allow you to be honest. because you're wrapped up in this whirlwind. So reflect honestly on the situation. Look at it like it's in black and white. What does this mean? How does this affect me? And can I move on from here? Number 3, own your part. Own your part. So what I had to do is I had to take a look at the situation and own my part in it. Because sometimes we receive, not sometimes, all the time, when we have people in our lives who should not be in our lives, or we're entering into a situation that is not good for us, we do in fact receive red flags. God whispers to us. Now, whether or not we listen, that's our decision. So I had to own that. I had to own what signs were there that I was ignoring. And then I had to ask myself, why did you ignore those signs? What was it that that individual or that situation was feeding you that caused you to completely ignore everything you knew should have been done? So own your part in it. That's personal responsibility, and that's ultimately going to lead to personal growth. You can't grow if you're not honest with yourself and willing to take responsibility in your part in things, right? Right? So number 4, I had to shut down. I went off social media for a few days. I had to meditate. I had to get close and speak with God and ask for direction and strength. You know, sometimes because of social media, we're constantly in a state of the here and now and the constant voices, and, you know, we don't have time, quiet time, to actually reflect on ourselves. So I had to shut it down because I knew in that state of mind that I was in, it was time for me to get quiet and it was time for me to listen. And there was no way that I could do that if I was constantly engaged in what was going on in the lives of others. It was time for me to get selfish and meditate and lean on God. Now, you might lean on something else, you know, that's your thing. But for me, it was God. I had to get quiet, meditate, get quiet, and wait on the answer. Wait on the answer, which sometimes can be a little uncomfortable as well, because we're so into what's the answer? Come on. No, sit and wait. I had to sit and wait for the answer. Sit and wait for that strength that I knew was in me, but had been wavering because of the incident. I had to get control over it, or better yet, get control over myself so that I could release it to God. And number 5, I had to map out my bounce back plan. Like I said, there's always going to be an obstacle. Nothing we can do about that. Once that obstacle occurs, write out that obstacle. Write out how you can leverage that obstacle, and then map out your bounce back plan. You have it within you to bounce back from every situation. So map out your bounce back plan. Number 6, I had to remind myself that even though this was a scary time, even though, as you would say, I got burned, I had to remind myself that I needed to stay open. I needed to stay open, even if staying open meant that it could happen again. I had to stay open, because if I'm not open and keeping myself in a vulnerable state, then I'm not growing and I'm not open to receive. We sometimes look at staying open and being vulnerable as a bad thing. That was one of the things I had to learn through this process. It's not bad when you're open to receive. I can't be closed and receive at the same time. So I have to stay open. And sometimes that will be vulnerable, but you know, it is what it is. I can outweigh the fear. And then 6, give thanks for the experience. I give thanks for that experience, because that experience, I know for a fact, has propelled me to another level. It's propelled me to another level. So I give thanks for that experience. I give thanks for everything about it. And that includes me not adhering to the red flags. That includes me having the little mini breakdown that I had. That includes all of the support and encouragement that I received as a reminder that I'm not on this journey by myself. That includes the things that followed after. God showered. I'm telling you guys, he showed up and showered me with blessings after that. And it was because I was being obedient. And so I am thankful for the experience, not because I was showered with blessings, but because I know for a fact that this was building me. This is building me. It's building me for where he's taking me. And so, if we're not thankful in the experiences that we go through, you can't play it both ways. You can't just be thankful for the blessings and not be thankful for the lessons. You have to be thankful for both, because without the lessons, there will be no blessings. So I want you to get anchored in your greatness. This is how you get anchored in your greatness, because again, things are going to happen. You have no control over them. But if you're anchored, you're ready to take them on. I hope this is helpful. I hope this is helpful for someone who may be going through something like this, or, something like this is coming. I just want you to be ready. I want you to be ready. This is Lisa Geist, your self-relationship expert, your Be Great Now coach, your inspirational speaker, and the author of You're Just a Quote Away from Your Greatness, wanting to share with you how to get anchored for greatness. That seed of greatness is in you. No one can do anything about it. All you need to do is just water it. And I hope that I've done that today. As always, be loyal to your greatness and live your greatness out loud. Bye.